Revolutionary greetings to all the people and sympathizers of the once independent British Southern Cameroons, also now referred to as Ambazonia. My name is John Bakuro, and today is the 11th of March in the year of our Lord 2020. My dear people, we are making progress. We are making progress in our march towards freedom. In this march towards freedom, we have been meeting obstacles and overcoming them, and we shall continue to meet these obstacles, but will also be able to surmount them as we have been doing. A lot of these obstacles are both internal and external, but my dear people, it is our collective determination. It will be our collective tenacity and total resilience in the face of all those distractions and obstacles that will take us to the finish line. I want to begin this communication by specifically extending congratulations to our people of the Southern Cameroons in the United States of America who made it in good numbers to Washington, D.C. on the 6th of March 2020 before the NBC and Fox News buildings. We had the opportunity once more to remind the world that what is happening in the Southern Cameroons is outright genocide. We had the opportunity once more to remind the world that the case of the people of the Southern Cameroons is not one of secession, but it is about restoring a stolen country back to the owners. My dear people, sometimes around the world, erroneously, people refer to us as the secessionists. They fail to understand that the entity that seceded from the unholy union between La République du Cameroun and the once independent Southern Cameroons, today known as Ambazonia, are La République du Cameroun. Because by signing a decree in 1984 to restore the name of their country, a country that existed on the 1st of January 1960 as Republic of Cameroon, away from the country that emerged from the union between the Southern Cameroons and the Republic of Cameroon in 1961 to form the Federal Republic of Cameroon, which was rigged into the United Republic of Cameroon in 1972 by that single act, signing a decree to revert the name of the country to the Republic of Cameroon. Mr. Paul Biya and the Republic of Cameroon seceded from the Union. We, therefore, are not secessionists. We are simply seeking to let the world know that a country, once independent Southern Cameroons, disappeared somewhere along the line, that our country was stolen, and we want the country restored back to the rightful owners. That message was made triumphantly clear in Washington on the 6th of March 2020. And I still want to say, I want to congratulate all those who came out there in good numbers. And I want to extend special thanks to Comrade Atanga Nji for making it possible for us to have an impeccable sound system on that day that, help vehicle our message beyond just the buildings of the NBC and Fox News. I also want to extend special thanks to one of our brothers who single-handedly and free of charge produced for us the banners and placards that you could see so conspicuous on that day. Those little things are huge contributions that will help to continue to educate the world on the plight of the people of the Southern Cameroons and on the atrocities of Mr. Paul Biya and his accomplices on our people, on our unarmed civilians, on our vulnerable women and children, on the old ones in our communities, back on ground zero. My dear people, again, it will be huge thanks to the Southern Cameroon's community in the United Kingdom. You all out there in Britain, in the United Kingdom, you made us proud on the 9th of March. That's just 2 days ago. When you came out in good numbers and made it clear to all those who were going for celebrations marking the Commonwealth Day, including the Queen of England, that it is not well with the people of the Southern Cameroons, that we are not in order. You took that very important opportunity to remind the Queen of the responsibility of the British monarchy in the unfolding genocide on the people of the Southern Cameroons. By that single action, you made clear to the world that we will settle down to nothing except total freedom, that we have already suffered slavery and servitude for over 80 years. What am I even saying? For about a century. And so we cannot continue. By that single act of bravery, you were able to draw the attention of the British media that in some circumstances have decided to look the other way. I want to particularly congratulate and indicate my total solidarity with those two comrades of ours who found themselves detained by the British police in the course of that demonstration because they wanted to get themselves in a clearer position where the Queen of England will not pass without realizing that people are in pains, that people in the Southern Cameroons are dying on a daily basis. By that single act, you forced the hand of those in the British media who think that it will continue to be business as usual. The people of the Southern Cameroons, of once independent Southern Cameroons, now also referred to Ambazonia, that we are, have no country of ours right now. If the world doesn't come to the realization that they are about to make us stateless citizens, and this is something the United Nations is strongly against, then we will never let them alone. If the world doesn't come to that realization that they're about to make us stateless citizens, I repeat, we will never let them alone. They must come to the reality of the fact that we will stop at nothing, at nothing, until we recover our stolen country, the beautiful Southern Cameroons. Let me recall this. One of the lines I picked from the statement by the U.S. Undersecretary of State Tibor Nagy in his last outing was that what Africa needs today is not the emergence of a new country that will be infested with poverty and suffering. My people, in 1961, the government of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland denied us independence on the grounds that we were poor. In 2017, in 2018, and in 2019, we heard from governments, from other institutions across the world, that they could not allow us to be independent, to go our own separate way, because if we did, La République du Cameroun will emerge as poor, because as much as 60% of the GDP of that country comes from the Southern Cameroons. So, those lines by Mr. Tibor Nagy, poverty and suffering, would definitely not apply to the people of the Southern Cameroons. Perhaps, if it's in reference to the current seeming disorder in our midst, maybe you could say they're worried that we may get ourselves engulfed in mismanagement. But about the possibility of us doing the mathematics and the arithmetics to ensure that we live well, I have all the trust and belief in the abilities of the people of the Southern Cameroons. We have to keep working hard and we have to forge ahead. Now, the crux of the matter in this communication has to do with the current outing of Mr. Atanga Nji. My concern is not even with Atanga Nji, because Mr. Atanga Nji has generally been just himself, the school dropout, who definitely doesn't understand how society operates, who believes that everything has got to be handled with brute force, who believes that it is by betraying his people that he and his own family can be happy, who believes that the only way to satisfy Mr. Paul Biya, to make Mr. Paul Biya know that he really stands for him and supports him, is by ensuring that many more of his people are tortured and killed on a daily basis. So I'm not surprised at anything Mr. Atanga Nji Paul says. But my surprise, maybe surprise, I should say what attracted my attention was the statement by Mr. Severin Tchounkeu, the proprietor of Equinox television news in Douala, when he was reacting to what Atanga Nji Paul said. He made this very clear, that at the dawn of the incident in Ngarbuh, Equinox television dispatched a team of investigative journalists to the scene. And he went further to say when they returned from the field, he had to reach out to the military authorities of La République du Cameroun with the result of their findings, because that is exactly what he said inter alia. And he said it is because of his patriotism to his country, La République du Cameroun, that he has retained a lot of the information that gathered on the field. A clear indication that what the journalists of Equinox saw on the field is worse, perhaps, than what Human Rights Watch published in their report. An indication that what the journalists of Equinox TV saw on the spot is worse than what has been disseminated on social media. That what happened on the field is worse than everyone can imagine. That the extent of the killings, of the massacres, is unimaginable. And that is out of patriotism that he decided to conceal the results of that journalistic investigation. Oh, really? My people. And he didn't end there. He said it was out of his patriotism that he reached out to the Minister of Defense on the day the soldiers of La République du Cameroun shot and killed a southern Cameroonian within the premises of St. Mary Hospital in Bamenda, in the presence of Médecins Sans Frontières. That it was at his behest that the Ministry of Defense immediately came out with a press release to claim, as usual, that they had taken into custody the soldier who committed the act. It is thanks to Mr. Severin Tchounkeu's patriotism that he is assisting his government of La République du Cameroun to conceal genocidal acts on the people of the southern Cameroons. I like those who continue to think that the people of La République du Cameroun consider us brothers and sisters, to take note of those statements. If patriotism will be defined as concealing information, vital information, relating to a genocide being visited on people you claim are your brothers and sisters, I really wonder where we stand. This, I will leave it there. But this is the crux of my discussion today. This is another wake-up bell that should touch and prick the minds of our people to understand that what we are facing is an existential war. That if we don't put our heads, our minds, and everything together to work together around at least a unity of purpose towards the specific goal of ensuring freedom, not only for us, not only for our children, but for future generations of Southern Cameroonians to come, we would be doing a disservice to humanity. Take note, the government of La République du Cameroun continues to play the spin. That is why there are by-elections on the 20th of March. I don't recall how often La République du Cameroun has speedily organized by-elections. I don't recall when the Constitutional Council of La République du Cameroun would truly identify irregularities and go ahead to council elections. But because the government of La République du Cameroun wants at least to have a parliamentary group in their House of Assembly manned by a political outfit with a stronghold in the southern Cameroons, that is the purpose of those by-elections. Because what they had in mind to do with the SDF was rigged again within their midst by the greedy politicians of the CPDM in that area. Reason the Constitutional Council has to rectify that error to ensure that they will give to the SDF party a parliamentary group. My dear people, all this continue to point to one thing, that we have to take our destiny into our hands. Taking our destiny into our hands is not just about being able to contribute financially and then we go back and sleep in our houses. It's not about being able to go on social media and rant among ourselves, insult ourselves and go back and sleep. My dear brothers and sisters, it is about coming to the realization that we will either work together, work together and do what is right. Take the courage to go back to some decisions that have not worked. If we don't do this, we are moving straight towards destruction. I had occasion to listen to recordings of Mr. Milan Atam within the framework of town hall discussions they had recently. He contradicted some comments made by Sisiku Ayuktabe when he was on the same town hall discussion, what he used to justify the need to create an interim government. He said there were countries waiting on the line to recognize us and we needed a government. But Mr. Atam said once a government was created, he was sent on a mission to some countries where he had been before. And he waited in his hotel room 4 days and no one received him. And in the end, what message he had was, if you people are a government, vamos away from this country. We don't want diplomatic incident. These are clear pointers to the fact that we have been on the wrong trajectory since October 2017. We have been on the wrong path. Isn't it time enough for us to be courageous enough to recognize that if we don't backpedal and do what is correct, we will be doing ourselves a disservice? How many more people do we want La République to kill in cold blood as they are doing daily before we come to the realization that there is nothing wrong in rectifying an error you had committed so that you can have a better leap forward? My dear people, this is time for us to do a serious rethink. Each time I say some of these things, I am certain that people pick their stones and are looking for my head. It wouldn't help you. It wouldn't help us. It is only the truth that will actually set us free. It is only when we come to the realization that there are some courageous decisions and courageous moves we must make, no matter whose ass is God, we will not make it. My dear people, even as I end this communication, I'd like each and every one of us to sit back and reflect and rethink and ask ourselves, we moved in geometric progression from 2016 to literally the early moments of 2018. But thereafter, we have moved in arithmetic progression. We can do better. Yes, we can do better. And I think we should do better. I am convinced we need to do better. We have to be courageous enough to take the hard decisions that will propel us forward. To God be the glory.